White Rock has some of the most expensive detached homes in the entire South Surrey area, and it's not even close. We're talking about $1.76 million on average right now. At the time of filming this video, Cloverdale, $1.38 million. North Delta, $1.24 million. Even Langley, which has been on an absolute tear, sits at $1.53 million. White Rock is commanding a premium of anywhere between low 200,000s to over $500,000 compared to its neighbors. So the question that everybody asks is why? Why is this little peninsula on the edge of the lower mainland so much more expensive than everywhere around it? Is it just the ocean view? Is it the hype? Is it a bubble? It's none of those things. And by the end of this video, you're gonna understand exactly what you're paying for. And honestly, for the right buyer, why it might actually be worth every single dollar. Because here's the thing most people miss. White Rock was never really built to be a suburb. It wasn't designed around commuters and cul-de-sacs. It has a completely different origin story than every other community on this chart. And that origin story, it still shows up on the streets, the lots, the hillside, and the feel of the place today. You only get one chance to buy or sell your next home. Let's get it right. Hey, before we kick off, if you're thinking about buying or selling in White Rock or South Surrey, the biggest mistake you can make right now is relying on outdated advice or guessing your next move. The market has shifted, and what worked even 6 months ago could cost you tens of thousands today. My name is Darren. I'm a realtor living and working here in White Rock and South Surrey, and I've been helping families like yours buy and sell here since 2007. And since then, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of families just like yours, many of whom found me right here on this very YouTube channel because they wanted straight answers, real local insights, and a strategy that actually works. On this channel, I break down exactly what's happening in our market, what to watch out for, and how to make smart decisions so you don't leave any money on the table. So if you want to stay ahead of the market, hit subscribe. And if you're serious about making a move, there's a link below in the description of this video to book a quick call with me or my team. There's no pressure, just clear advice so you can move forward with confidence. If you go back far enough, White Rock and Crescent Beach weren't suburbs at all. They were escapes. This whole stretch of coastline was where people came to get away from the city, from the heat, from the noise, from the grind. And we're not talking about camping trips. We're talking about families building proper summer cottages right on the water, on the hillside with views of Semiahmoo Bay and the islands and beyond. Then in came the railway. And once this place was accessible, the people who could afford to build somewhere beautiful built here, not in a rush, not to maximize lot yield. They built here because this place was special and they knew it. And here's what's interesting. That DNA never really left. When you walk the streets of White Rock today, especially up on the hillside, you can still feel it. There's something in the air that makes it different. And that feeling isn't even limited to the homes that overlook Semiahmoo Bay. It's the whole place. This quiet, small town, relaxed energy that draws people in from all over Canada and the lower mainland because it's so special. White Rock wasn't built in a hurry. It was built with intention. Most of the communities on the price chart I shared earlier were built to house people. White Rock was built to be somewhere people actually wanted to be. And buyers, whether they consciously realize it or not, feel that difference the moment they arrive. Now, before we go further, I want to get something straight about geography and names. As White Rock developed over decades, it sprawled outward and the broader community of South Surrey took shape around it. So in this video, when we talk about White Rock, we're really talking about the whole peninsula area, Ocean Park, Crescent Beach, White Rock proper. We'll use the names a little interchangeably, but that's intentional. And that word peninsula is actually the key to the entire conversation because White Rock and South Surrey, they sit on a peninsula surrounded by water on three sides. To the south, Semiahmoo Bay, opening out toward the San Juan Islands. To the west, you got Boundary Bay. There's really only one way in and one way out, and that's not a flaw, that's a feature. What the geography does is put a hard ceiling on supply. You simply cannot build your way out of White Rock. There are no new subdivisions appearing on the edges of town because there are no edges left to build on. The land that is there, and that's it. And when supply is permanently constrained and demand stays consistent, prices don't need a reason to stay high. The math just does it for them. But it's not just about supply. It's about what that geography actually feels like to live in. White Rock doesn't have through traffic the way other communities do. People who are in White Rock are there because they want to be. There's no shortcut through here to get somewhere else. That keeps it quieter. That keeps it more intentional. And for buyers who are specifically looking to get away from the chaos of the broader lower mainland, that is genuinely priceless. You're not buying a house in a suburb. You're buying into a place that the geography itself has protected protected from becoming another suburb. And then there's before we get into that, quick heads up. If you're even thinking about buying a home anywhere in BC, you'll want to grab a copy of our free guide, 18 grants and rebates for home buyers. We pulled together every program we could find, federal, provincial, and even some lesser known local ones, plus links, tips, and simple ways to actually use them. Most of these are buried, confusing, or completely missed by buyers, and these could save you thousands. It's free, and you can download it right now using the link below in the description of this video. Okay, back to our video before I so rudely cut you off. Whenever you're talking about White Rock, you have to talk about the water, because you cannot talk about White Rock real estate without talking about what it actually feels like to live this close to the ocean. But before we even get to the promenade and the beach, let's talk about something that doesn't get it nearly enough credit: the weather. White Rock sits in one of the mildest, driest pockets in the entire Lower Mainland. And that's already saying something, because the Lower Mainland wins the climate argument every time against every other major city in Canada without even trying. While the rest of the country is buried in snow in February, people in White Rock are walking the beach in a light jacket. But even within the Lower Mainland, White Rock consistently comes out ahead. Less rain than Vancouver, less gray than Burnaby. The rain shadow effect from the Olympic Mountains to the south gives this corner of BC a genuinely unique microclimate that you won't find even 20 minutes up the road. And when you combine that climate with the waterfront lifestyle this community is kind of built around, it becomes a pretty hard package to argue with. The promenade alone is something most communities would kill for. One of the longest beach promenades in the Lower Mainland, walkable from a huge portion of the homes in this area. Morning walks along the beach, Mount Baker sitting there on a clear day like it was placed specifically for your own viewing pleasure. Sunsets that are genuinely world class. That's not marketing copy, that's just Tuesday in White Rock. And it's not just the promenade, it's the restaurants on the beach, it's the pier, it's the fact that this community has built its entire identity around that waterfront in a way that very few places in BC have actually managed to pull off. When you live here, the ocean isn't a bonus amenity, it's the whole point. Now, compare that to Cloverdale or North Delta, or even most of Langley. Perfectly fine communities, great value, great families, lots going on, but none of them have this. None of them have a resident population that wakes up every single morning and can walk to the water in 15 minutes or less. And none of them have this microclimate sitting quietly in the background, making every single day just a little bit more livable than everywhere else around them. That's not a small thing. For a certain kind of buyer, and you probably already know if you're that buyer, the combination of climate and ocean access changes the quality of your daily life in a way that's very hard to put a number on. But the market, well, it has put a number on it, and that number is roughly $250,000 to $500,000 more than everywhere else around it. Now, here's the part that's hardest to quantify, because it might actually be the most important factor of all, and it's something you really only understand when you've spent time driving the streets of White Rock, particularly up on the hillside. There's a character to this place that you just don't find in newer, faster built communities. The trees have had decades to grow into something that gives the streets a genuine sense of permanence. When you're driving through the hillside neighborhood, past these established homes with their ocean views and their mature landscaping, it doesn't feel like a place that was assembled quickly to meet a housing target. It feels like a place that was built by people who actually cared where they were building. And that matters to buyers more than they sometimes like to admit, because what you're really buying when you buy in White Rock, especially on the hillside, is a finished product, not a community that's still figuring out what it wants to be, not a neighborhood where the tree canopy is 3 feet tall and the paint on the sound walls is still fresh. You're buying something that's already fully formed, already proven, already desirable. There's also something to be said about the pace of the place. White Rock isn't trying to be Vancouver. It's not trying to be a tech hub or a density showcase or the next big thing. It's exceptionally good at being exactly what it is: a beautiful, quiet, well-established community on the water. And in the Lower Mainland, that kind of restraint is genuinely rare. When everything around you is being bulldozed and rebuilt at maximum density, there's real value in a place that still feels like it was built for people, not for yield. So let's get back to the original question here. Why is White Rock real estate so expensive? Well, it's not one thing, it's everything stacked on top of each other. It's the peninsula geography that hard caps supply. It's the ocean access that changes your daily life in a way that's almost impossible to replicate anywhere else in the Lower Mainland. It's the history, the fact that this place was chosen first as somewhere worth being long before anyone was thinking about price per square foot. It's the hillside, the promenade, the maturity of the neighborhoods, and the quiet that comes from a community that was never designed to be a throughway. And yes, Yes, the number reflects all of that. $1.76 million for a detached home, at least according to the home price index. And how much more that towers over all the surrounding communities? Well, that's the market telling you clearly and consistently that people have choices. And with those choices, they're choosing White Rock. Now, is it for everyone? Well, of course not. If you need maximum square footage for your dollar, there are better options on that chart. North Delta and Cloverdale will give you a lot more house for the money. Langley has been one of the strongest performing markets in the region. Those are all legitimate choices depending on what you're optimizing for. But what if you're optimizing for is a kind of lifestyle, a specific kind of life on the water, in a place with real character, in a community that isn't going to be unrecognizable in 10 years because a developer got to it? Well, then the White Rock Premium isn't really a premium at all. It's just the price of admission to one of the most livable corners of British Columbia. And based on people who keep choosing it, most of them think it's worth it. Now, if this video maybe it got you thinking, here's the thing. Not all neighborhoods in White Rock and South Surrey are created equal. And that matters a lot when you're deciding where to specifically plant your flag. So in the next video, the video coming up, I'm going to walk you through the 3 areas you should seriously consider if you're thinking about making this place home. And the good news is I've got a video all about that, and it's coming up right now. You want to know where the best neighborhoods in South Surrey and White Rock are to live? Well, if that's the case, this is definitely the video for you.